Hello everyone, how are you doing? It's alright, welcome to Silverstone. Don't worry, there's no Formula 1 videos in here. We're talking about Newcastle outgoings today and the features of Karl Darlow, Ritchie, and in particular Ryan Fraser. Of course, there's no Ferrari around here because it's a British Grand Prix and my boys are based in Italy. The team that I've supported since the mid-90s comes second in the championship, and so did Charles Leclerc. We will put a fight towards the Red Bull, especially with a new team principle. Let's begin today's video. Hello everyone, so I have had my Ferrari hat on, not literally, but yeah, I love my F1. NFTV Extra if you want to see more F1 content when the season starts. But I hope you have been enjoying all of the content around different locations. I'm a bit conscious of that, you know, the channel can get a little bit stale if it's the same four walls over and over. That's why we don't do many green screens. That's why I like to be out and about, or it's not even in the office. I love to do different location videos. I think it helps and it gives the viewer a little bit more perspective of what's happening around the channel, where we are filming stuff, and you know, it's always nice to see new scenery on the channel as well. So, but anyways, back to the football talk. What we're in a minute and a half into this video. We haven't even talked about football. I want to talk about the three players who aren't playing very much and potentially could leave. We've seen Chris Wood, who's already left on loan with an obligation to buy to Nottingham Forest. And I want to talk about the three players today, which is Karl Darlow, Ritchie and Ryan Fraser. A little bit on Saint-Maximin, but I do think that's just pure speculation. So the first player I want to talk about is Karl Darlow. Now, Darlow's been at the club for quite a long time now. Remember, we signed him as a double act with him and Jamal Lascelles from Nottingham Forest, loaned them straight back for a season, and he's been with us for a good few years now. 32 years of age now. Was on the bench for the cup game, and he will be also for the return leg because Martin Dubravka is cup tied. So that one might be a late one if he does head out on loan. There's plenty of speculation that he might head out on loan to the likes of a championship club to play a regular first team football. And look, he's good enough. You know, it was only within 2 years ago that he was on the verge of potential England call-up. Was either him or Sam Johnson for third choice, because he went through that spell where he was absolutely unbelievable. And I think he's hard done by a little bit, Karl Darlow. I do. I think he's a quality goalkeeper, and if Nick Pope was to get injured, I'm all right with Darlow coming in for 1 or 2 games. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'd rather have Darlow than Dubravka at the club. I know some people that might be up for debate, but if I think Dubravka at his age, I think he now needs to leave Newcastle. For me personally, I think he's been a good servant, but Darlow's been here for years. I think he deserves an opportunity. I'd rather keep Darlow, but for his own career, I'd like to see Darlow play first team football. So I'm being a little bit contradicting myself, but do you see where I'm getting with that? But he could potentially leave, and if he does head out on loan, I think that'll be right at the end, because we've still got Gillespie, who's happy to be third choice. We've got Karius, we've got Dubravka. Even he might have a little bit of a say, because if Darlow doesn't go, you might see Dubravka head back out on loan, because Nick Pope's got 10 clean sheets in a row. That is just, that's mind-boggling. 10 clean sheets in a row. It's Newcastle United. Do you know what I mean? You know, the 2 saves, I don't want to make it all about Nick Pope, but the 2 saves that he'd done the other night was sensational. And then the game against Brighton way back in the early on the season, it was sensational then. And he does simple things so well. And Bruno's come out and said, and because it's his teammate, Bruno's come out and said that he's the best keeper in the world. I don't know about that, but what he is at the moment, he's probably on form for all the basics that he does. It's right up there. He's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But I wanted to move on to the next player, which is Ritchie. Now, again, another one who's barely kicked a ball this season, hasn't he? Now, he's always linked away, Ritchie, hasn't he, for the last good 2.5 years. And he wants to move down south. Obviously, he's on great wages at Newcastle, so the likes of Portsmouth can't afford his wages. You would have to drop down, and it's been a great servant, in particular the first probably 2 to 3 years in the Championship, first season in the Premier League, and then he got converted into a great left wing back under Rafa Benitez when we were playing 5 at the back, and now he's a bit power player. He rarely features. He rarely comes off the bench. So you could see it happening. And I was down next to his neck of the woods of course, the last few days. And I can't see it happening, but I wouldn't be too surprised if he just hangs around to the end of the season and then he gets his move. I could even see Newcastle just saying, look, have a free transfer, because are we going to get any money from the likes of, Bournemouth, Portsmouth? You might even go back to Bournemouth if they get relegated. But you might have seen this car behind me. A beautiful car, Aston Martin, absolutely stunning piece of. And there's a lot of obviously British manufacturers who race here as well. And let me know about Matt Ritchie, of course. But just wanted to point out, a Ferrari driver won last year's British Grand Prix, didn't he? Yes, Mr. Carlos Sainz. Back to Football League. Come on, state of football. Keep focused. So you could see that one happening, couldn't you? Now, the third player is Ryan Fraser. This is the big one, because he's not been selected for such a long time. Yes, he came. No, he didn't even come off the bench, did he, against Sheffield Wednesday? When was the last time Ryan Fraser played? You'll probably have to get yourself onto Google and have a look at it. Elliot Anderson's ahead of him. He's been linked to a loan move to Everton. You could probably see that happening now that Dan Juma has done a dirty on them. Nothing more I would love to see Everton go down. But you could see that happening. Would he cost a lot of money to buy? Probably not, but Newcastle would make a profit anyway. We got him on a free. So if Newcastle do sell him, it's a profit in any case. And I just don't think, for whatever reason, out of the two, you always compare, well, we do on the channel, compare Murphy and Fraser. And probably 3/4 of us on NFTV, because it's 9 or 10 of us, will probably pick Fraser normally. But he's just fell off a cliff. And he's nowhere to be seen. And Eddie Howe has said that, look, he's training hard and he's a valuable member of the squad. But if the bid comes in, I can see he's the one out of the three I could definitely see leaving 100%. 100% I can see him leaving. So we'll have to see. It's a shame, but try and cash in on him. That's probably the way to look forward. And maybe, Eddie Howe's obviously got a player in mind that he wants to bring in. We'll have to wait and see on that deadline date is approaching. I just spin the camera around as well. I've got the grandstand next to me as well. But yeah, I wanted to talk about Alan Saint-Maximin a little bit on this one, because there's been a cheeky rumour come through of late as well. I think it's a load of nonsense. And it's a club that'll link to everybody, Nottingham Forest. That speculation isn't going to happen, is it? Let's face it. Maximin to Nottingham Forest. He wants to get in the Champions League, man. No disrespect. But one team that are linked to him, who do play regular in Europe, is Milan. So that's not going to happen. I can't see Eddie Howe allowing Alan Saint-Maximin to leave, but I didn't want to do a speculation video. I hate them, to be honest with you. We don't like to do too many, but I wanted to talk about those 3 players that potentially could be heading out, or at least 1 or 2 of them. Let me know which ones you want to see stay. Just in front of me, you've got the grandstand as well. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the videos. As I say at the top of this video, hope you've enjoyed all the different locations. I'm going to be heading back to beautiful Geordieland after spending 5 or 6 days down south. But let us know in the comments down below. Newcastle have obviously 1-0 up from their win against Southampton. We'll focus more as we start to come round to the game as well. I'm sure Johnny and Sam also have a podcast lined up in the next 2 days. Stay tuned, members, for that. And if you're not a member, join us. It's in the underneath. It's joined 99 pence. You can say exclusive videos, which is class. 99 pence. No, Andy support, which is mint. But that's it from Silverstone. See you everyone. Bye bye.